It's meeting 9 of Footballland.
Foot. Footballland.
My name is Anthony Richardson. I am the CEO of Footballland.
My name is Welk Davison. I'm the Lord Sir Chief Ride Senior Engineer.
And my name is Ryan Baxter, and I am the intern.
And we've been accidentally given $1 billion by the state of Qatar to build a football-themed theme park called Footballland in the state of Qatar for the World Cup in Qatar. And as we've agreed, there is a wee font size one space between football and land.
We have not agreed that.
And here's a list of the rides we have come up with so far.
The Leicester City Fairyland, the Tunnel of Wagner/Donald/Joachim Love, Jimmy Conrad's Conrad Biscan 3000, Steve Mechanical Bull, Marek Larwood's Football Hunger Games, Sir Alex Ferguson's Mind Game Simulator, Nimo Dudra's Betrayal Monorail,
Asscoffiation Noshball, Steve Cabaret,
the School Sports Football Simulator,
Old Dummets Meat and Potatoes Miniature Fun Fair,
Hasta la vista, baby. The Eric Cantona experience.
Wags Corner.
Hello, footballer.
Very busy meeting today, Mark. We've got Adam Savage, the TV host and presenter of the first hour. He also does a podcast called The Savage Situation. We've got an exciting new hotel that I'm pitching to you, Footballland's first hotel.
Great.
And you've got a fun Christmas feature you'd like to share.
I have, yes. It's Christmas time, so it's just a bit of Christmassy fun.
But first, on a very sad note, Ryan, you have a problem with an existing ride.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to do this again. Although it's not that sad, it's just a question. I've been speaking to the FA, and it's about Asscoffiation Noshball.
The restaurant that goes through the history of football nutrition.
That very restaurant, yes.
Right, okay. What's the problem?
It's more of a question. They just want to know, why Noshball?
Noshball, because noshing is food and ball is football.
Very
Noshball.
obvious.
Not noshing off the balls, but noshing on the food balls.
Right.
Noshing on the balls.
I think their question is more like, there's more obvious alternatives,
Right.
I think is what they were trying to say.
Okay, creatives.
They're offering up food ball.
Food
ball. That's nonsense. That doesn't make any sense.
A ball of food.
I think they might counter Noshball might not
No,
be...
Noshball makes sense. Noshball makes full sense. Food ball, unless every single item of food we serve is round, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, and their second alternative was food hall, which...
Food hall.
You know...
Marks and
Food hall.
Spencer's.
Oh my
Come on.
God, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's very beige.
It's not a food hall. It's a canteen, if anything. It's a high-end restaurant.
Right. Okay. Well...
Yep.
That is... No, I think we should dig in hard on that. I think Noshball or nothing.
Okay, well, I can go back to them.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Come dine with me inside our Footballland.
Mark, when you go to a theme park, how often do you stay overnight in a hotel so you can enjoy the theme park twice in a row?
Never.
No, me neither, but people do, especially at Disneyland or Disney World or one of the many Disneys. They feel that they need to be there 2 nights so that they can experience fireworks or something like that.
Yep.
And I've come up with a hotel that's perfectly suited to Footballland, and it's called the International Break.
Yeah, international break is an interesting angle. Is that tying in with the international break, isn't it?
It is a little, yeah, it is a little. And also with England's hotel choices at World Cups, where basically England choose a hotel that seems to be nowhere near any of the games they're actually playing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe in Qatar, we've got Footballland in a location.
Yeah.
How about we put the hotel the other side of the country? Just to give that flavour of travel, to give that flavour of discombobulation and of fatigue.
That's a lovely touch, yes. England have always screwed up. Even when the World Cup was in France, they stayed in Germany or somewhere, didn't they? So, yeah, that's great. A really strong idea.
I know that, people want to spend time in hotels with their families, but this is not that kind of hotel. This is a hotel where you have to book with 22 other randomly selected guests at Footballland, and you all stay on the same floor together. Now, you might have met a couple of them. You might know of a few of them, but you've never stayed together before.
No.
But that's a good thing.
And you probably have to room with someone that you don't really know that well.
Yeah, you have to share a room, and you get up to all sorts of japes. You might be chalk and cheese, but that will be part of the fun of the international break. You can only go there via invitation.
Yeah, and when you get the call, when someone calls up and says you're coming into international break, you're required by law to tell everyone you initially thought it was a prank.
Yeah, that's right. You have to say you thought it was a prank for the first time, and maybe the last time you go. But the middle times, if you go a lot of times to international break, it's just run-of-the-mill. In fact, it's almost a chore. That's another thing about this hotel. It's not fun. It's fun at different times of the year, but most of the time it is a chore. It's pretty dull, and you'd rather not be there.
Yeah, that's good.
There's only one activity you can do at the hotel.
Yeah.
There's a VHS in the reception of some horse racing from about 3 years ago. And you can have a small betting night with your friends watching that. But one of your friends has to have already watched the VHS before and is basically scamming you with their bets.
I like that. Yeah.
There is a bar, but it's not in the hotel. You do have to climb out of the window to get there.
Maybe we should have like 2 people are hovering around desperate to get into your room. And the moment you make a mistake, you're out and someone else is taking your place.
You're highly scrutinised at this hotel. Everything you do is subject to either ridicule, criticism, or begrudging acceptance. It's never praised, really. If you do get a slight injury, and it's a very injury-prone hotel, the health and safety record of it is poor, then you will have to go straight home. You won't be able to stay there you won't be able to go to Footballland. You'll have to go on the next flight home, even if your holiday is for another 2 weeks.
It becomes exciting every other summer.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time it's a chore. So often when people get the call, a good way to get out of it is just say, I'm injured. I can't. I mean, I'm staying in hotels where I live all the time and it's great, but I'm too injured to come to the international break.
Ray Lewington, are you happy with him being there for no real reason?
Absolutely. He's got to be there all the time, hovering around in the background. No one quite knows who he is or what he's doing there, but he is always there.
Singing the national anthem every morning. What about that?
Of course, yeah.
It's a bit patriotic, but if you can sing it as out of tune as you can in a group, maybe at breakfast time, then that'll be a fun sort of bonding experience. And for some reason, it's important.
Yeah, and maybe we can try out the auto-tune thing that I mentioned a couple of meetings ago. The rooms on the left-hand side of the hotel, traditionally, we struggle to fill those. Is that still the case, or have we got enough people to fill those rooms on the left-hand side?
A bad view, yeah. The view's changed, but still there's an oversubscription of the right-hand side. The right-hand side of the hotel, the views are absolutely stunning. You know, you can't get enough of those wonderful views. I'm thinking a lovely harbour, some boats, an amazing seascape. On the left-hand side, it's a better view, but it's just a big mural of a seascape. I mean, you can still see it. It looks nice. Maybe it's Banksy, maybe it's Cold War Steve, but it's not the same as actually seeing proper sea.
And I think the overriding principle behind this is anyone that makes a mistake, whoever it is, the manager gets sacked.
Yeah, that's right. The hotel manager, a precarious position. We need to hire managers who are happy to be there for, a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe we lord them up for the first 3 days they're there, and then we just harangue them for the next however long they stay there.
Yeah.
Let's sack these managers for whatever funny reason we can think of. They're basically clowns, and let's try and make it that they can't get jobs afterwards. That would be fun. Yeah. Are you happy for everyone who works there to be a player who is more famous for international football than for club football? I'm thinking people like David Healy, Roger Miller, Sami Al-Jaber, Lucas Podolski, Charisteas from Greece, and Sergio Romero, who doesn't seem to play football outside of his time for Argentina.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy Lee, I don't think ever played football, but he's somehow involved in the England setup.
Thank you very much. All right, let's vote on that. All in favour of hotel international break, say aye.
Aye. Superb. Yeah, great idea.
1, 2, 3, it's the international break. Grab your passport, don't be late. Don't nobody know, I don't want to go. It's the international break. Have you got an injury I could fake? Have you? Hey, I need one please, I don't want to go.
Mark, you've got some engagements come in.
Yes, we have a new patron. Mr. James Knowles is asking for the inclusion of Vinnie Jones' Crazy Gang.
Right, so the Crazy Gang, Wimbledon in the 80s, 90s, John Fashanu, Laurie Sanchez.
Mick Harford, Dennis Wise.
Wise, yeah. Okay, so what does he want to do with them? We can't book them because they're all famous now.
They're all
That's
famous
the problem.
now, yeah. But they were famous back in the day for being really violent. I mean, Crazy Gang was a bit of a soft label to apply to thugs, basically. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but around Halloween, the theme parks across the world tend to employ staff members to jump out on the punters and make them jump and scare them, basically, because it's Halloween. So the World Cup in Qatar will start in November, which is just after Halloween. So punters might be looking forward to that sort of Halloween-y type stunt. But with James Knowles' idea for the Vinnie Jones Crazy Gang, the twist is these people are not jumping out to scare you. They're actually attacking you. They are, to quote James Knowles, kicking you to pieces. Okay?
So we hire some thugs to go around the park beating the out of guests.
Basically, yes. Although we don't need to hire them because he's suggesting we randomly choose people as they come into the park. Randomly choose them to be, we tell them, you're a member of the Crazy Gang, you've got to kick the out of anyone you like.
Just anyone. So it could be like an old lady who's 73 who's just come in because her grandson loves football.
Why not?
Okay, I'm into that.
So, and if you're not into the whole kicking, then maybe you just stand in front of them and grab their testicles. I don't know. You'd struggle to do that with an old lady. Don't know. Do they grow testicles as they get older? Maybe they do. Is that kind of, I guess the goal is to get ejected from the park and ultimately become a famous actor like Vinnie Jones. He spent his time being an absolute thug, violent, nasty bloke, and now he's famous and everyone loves him.
Oh, we've said before that the lack of alcohol in the park, there's not going to be as much fighting, and this is perfect for us. We can inject the violence organically without having to resort to breaking the law. So yes, I'm all in favour of that. I can't wait to get maybe a former famous ref like David Ellery to come in and officiate that. I'd like to see him waddling around the place, handing out yellow cards. Kalina. Okay, all right. Well, all in favour of James Knowles' Crazy Gang idea. Say aye. 3, 2, 1. Aye.
Yeah, great. Thanks, James. Any other ideas? Keep them coming.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it will be to go to Footballland one day. Hey!
Mark, you got a fun Christmas idea?
I have, yeah, just a bit of Christmassy fun. So in the Premier League around Christmas time, you get Christmas fixture congestion, don't you? Teams are playing like 4 times in 3 days. Injuries are piling up. Everyone moans about it. The punters love it, but the professionals hate it. I think just as a fun Christmassy thing, we should try and replicate that. And what I'm thinking is punters have to go on as many rides as they possibly can without having any kind of break in between.
Yeah.
Ideally, they jump from one ride straight onto another ride, not even touching the ground. And although that brings with it the risk of injury, that's part of the fun because that will directly replicate the Christmas fixture congestion in real life.
If we could encourage injuries, could we make the park a bit more dangerous for that one day of the year?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's health and safety goes out the window because it's Christmas for some reason. And let's just embrace that joyful element of the birth of the Messiah and injuries.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if it's not too much of a logistical nightmare, we just move all the rides closer together. So you can't walk between them. You have to clamber. You've just smashed through Richard III's bones at the end of the Leicester City fairy tale roller coaster. You have to climb through that carnage and get into Alex Ferguson's mind space, or pop yourself through the bumhole of Wagner's Tunnel of Love.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bit of Christmassy fun, and then it all goes back to normal after about January the 3rd.
Lovely. Okay, Ryan, you're hovering about. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't help but sort of over here. I just thought instead of the jumping, which it seems a touch dangerous, there are those people that sort of rush round all the grounds within sort of 24 hours, aren't they? I've seen sort of Wallies on the internet do that. They sort of hire a minibus and a TV crew, and they sort of like try and do all the grounds in sort of 24 hours. It could be something similar to that.
That sounds insane.
Yeah, we could also sort of just shorten the park's opening hours, really put people under pressure. And if they don't complete all the rides within that, hour, let's say, they get a points deduction, which could sort of manifest itself in, I don't know, we take something from them, maybe their car.
Criminal record, perhaps.
Yeah, criminal record's quite nice.
Yeah.
We could say to them, if they're staying at the international break, we could say, if you don't manage to get round every ride within an hour, we're actually going to put some drugs in your bag, and there's a chance that you might not get through customs without being arrested.
Yeah. It's just a bit of Christmassy fun, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah, it's very much in the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah. All right, then. That sounds amazing. Okay, all in favour of Mark's Christmas fixture congestion carnage, say aye. 3, 2, 1. Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Well done, Mark. Perfect. Lovely.
Yeah, you don't vote fine, but good to know you're on board.
Oh, sorry, I was... Yeah.
Footballland is the one for me. Footballland is great. I love it.
Ryan, you've got some updates. Good news or bad news from the FA?
Well, it's sort of neither, really. They're just very confused.
Right.
What could be confusing about Asscoffiation Noshball?
They just don't see it, which I'm not surprised about. They are a bit dry. It was a very dry... and this is the main point. I think they're not saying no. I just feel I don't want to have these conversations because, I think we could just plough on.
What do they want it to be called then?
Their last throw of the dice is the Football Association's History of Nutrition Restaurant.
Oh, my God. Are they having a laugh? That is terrible.
Okay, I've got an idea. These guys are... Nobody really likes the Football Association. How about we just... have it as a different football association, the Scottish FA. They're a different organisation, aren't they?
Yeah.
Why don't we just link it with the Scottish FA and call it the Scoffish?
Scoffish, yeah.
FA.
Scoffish.
The Scoffish Asscoffiation Noshball. The Scoffish FA. Ascoff Nosh.
Scoff.
For short. Scoffish of
Have you still
Nosh.
got shun in there?
Scoffish of
shun?
Scoffland.
Scoffland. The Asscoffiation Noshball.
It's the same
Scoffish
word,
of
I think.
Okay, what about the Football Association of Ireland? The FA. I love this place.
Aye.
What about the Swedish FA? Because Sweet FA could be
Swede
like
FA.
the dessert. Swede FA.
Swede FA.
Swede FA.
Swede
Aren't people
FA.
gonna be a bit worried that it's just Swede?
Oh, yeah.
Which I know is sort of for the first half of the taster menu is fine, but after a while, Swede. It's Swede after all.
What about Germany? What do they have?
But Bundes dumplings loaders. Dumplings
Bundles, dumplings,
Bundles
ladies.
of dumplings. That's
Bundles
Irish.
of
I've gone Irish.
dumplings, ladies.
I've got an idea. It's an old negotiating tactic, right? We go back to them with something just so weird and over the top and left field that they're just going to forget about the initial Noshball and start arguing with us about this solution, which is just hot balls. Hot balls.
As a diversionary.
Hot balls.
Hot balls.
If you say it a lot,
balls.
hot balls.
Hot balls.
Hot balls. Hot balls. It sounds really nice.
hot
Hot
balls.
balls.
Sound-
Asscoffiation. Hot balls. Asscoffiation. Hot balls.
Hot balls. If you do it
Yeah.
with an American, hot balls.
With an A. Hot balls.
That sounds like hot
Hot
bowels.
balls.
We don't want to draw
Hot
attention to bowels in
balls.
a restaurant title.
Ah, Mr. Bond. I see you have hot balls.
Hot balls. Come inside. Sit in my hot balls.
It's worth an ask. It's worth an ask, Ryan. You go back to them with that, and if not, be prepared to tell them that we're going with the Scottish FA. They don't complain.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks, Ryan.
All right.
Cheers, mate. Right, we've got a very special guest in the meeting room today, Mark. His name is Adam Savage. He's a esports host and presenter. He presents a podcast called The Savage Situation and the first hour on Jinx TV in the UK and around the world. His name's Adam Savage and he's right here now. Hello, Adam.
Hi.
Hello, Adam.
So, Adam Savage, you are pitching your ride, but you're probably the most experienced person to pitch a ride because you actually worked at Disney World or Disneyland or one of the many Disneys in the US. You actually worked there as a person in the Disney machine.
Yeah, as an actual person. Do you know what I did when I was 19? I got a job working as a cultural representative of the United Kingdom at Disney's Epcot Center in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. Big one. Big. You couldn't fit on the badge all that. It just said Adam UK. Way easier that way. Way easier.
So what kind of cultural things did you represent as the UK?
For anyone who has not been there before, it's kind of like an Americanized Disney version of the UK and what makes us in a small pavilion. So you had one area that was
a cricket pavilion.
Not quite a cricket pavilion. You had more of like a little kind of like it wasn't even a gazebo. It was like a small kind of area where they had like a Beatles tribute band would perform every day the same songs every day, like Strawberry Fields all day. Yeah, it was. I was there for a year. It got quite hard after the first few days. There was also a tea shop that just sold Twinings tea bags. Not forget your Tetleys. It was specifically Twinings.
Uh-huh.
And tea bags. I mean, that's a no-no, isn't it, for the purist?
It was tea. I think it was tea leaves as well.
Right.
This kind of place, it had like not only that, it had like you probably obviously like it had the kind of quintessential characters like Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore were there and Piglet you could kind of meet. But it also had the Rose and Crown restaurant, which is where that was my house. That was my town. Basically, it was a restaurant where I was kind of like a cultural rep, but I was working as a waiter in a restaurant in service and stuff. So we kind of served like fish and chips and bangers and mash and pints of Stella, because that's very British.
Yeah, the Belgian lager.
So when you went to Disney, did you expect, when they told you your job role, did you realise you were just going to be serving fish and chips?
Can I be complete? If I'm completely honest with you, and this was when I was a young lad. I was 17, I think it was, or 18, and I in that part where it was finding out about the job itself, I nodded off in the briefing because it was like in a dark room, and I remember coming to and everyone was clapping, being like, "Yeah, that was awesome! I can't wait!" And I thought, I don't know what just happened, but I didn't have the balls to say to anyone. I missed that part, so I luckily got the job and then got there and went, "So what am I doing?" So it was kind of crazy, but it worked out well.
Okay, then before we get on, we'd just like you to sign a disclaimer. You, Adam Savage, are prepared to give over your ride idea to Anthony and Mark and its place in Footballland for perpetuity, and you're swearing on a copy of Shoot magazine from 2000. Just to prove you have the copy there, who is it on the front cover?
Mine has Nicholas Anelka.
Nicholas Anelka.
God save our gracious Queen. Go blimey, Governor, don't stay away too long now, Mary Poppins.
Let's get on to your ride. What is your ride then, Sav?
So I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I think about some of the kind of the big moments in footballing history. And one that really stood out for me was the day that Zinedine Zidane was robbed of a finale to his career on an international level, at least, in a World Cup final 2006. We all saw what happened with Mario Materazzi. Mugged off his mum mid-game. Zidane got excited, as anyone would do, drove his head straight into his sternum. And some might say that is a justified response to such awful behaviour and ungentlemanly conduct on the pitch. So I thought this could be a really good opportunity here to capitalise upon that revenge element. And we introduce a ride. And hear me out here. We introduce a ride. Zinedine Zidane's Mamma Mia Mayhem. Okay?
Wow, we were.
Right.
Great title.
Hey, the kids are gonna love it. Okay, check this out. Okay, let me go into details here. Not only are we addressing the fact that Mamma Mia, and that obviously his mum was insulted, ticks a box. Okay, context. Secondly, Italian player, Mamma Mia, Italian saying. Okay,
right.
Phrase. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in this ride, there's an opportunity for Zidane to get his own back on Italy.
The whole of Italy.
The whole of Italy, right? Not just current present day Italy. We're talking the history of the entire nation. So we can go back as far as like Da Vinci, whatever we want to. We can go back.
The Romans.
The Romans. Yeah, we can go back as far as that. Was Mount Vesuvius there in Italy?
It still is now. Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Pompeii.
That's what I'm thinking. Pompeii.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's go that far back, right? But what I'm saying is this, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know how you get revenge on Pompeii. They've maybe we just ring fence them and leave them out because they've suffered enough. Maybe
I've got it covered. I've got it covered, right?
Right. He wants to smash up those pumices.
Right. What we do is this: we introduce this little kind of like kids, families. They love competing. They love video games, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we make kind of like this into like more of an interactive ride? And like you're sat in carts, you've got little guns, okay? You've got little guns, like shoot balls, but all the balls have the shape and the look of Zidane's face and head. Okay.
Wow.
Zidane gets to headbutt and he gets to knock into the history of Italy. So you go around these carts, there's targets everywhere on different people from the history of Italy, from Da Vinci to Michelangelo to Donatello Versace to Mussolini, you name it, they're all there. And you got to go around, you shoot these things with these heads, right? And you go around, you try and get top scores, compete against your family. But all the whilst, and check this out, and this is genius, all the whilst we do a deal with the ABBA lads and ladies, and we get the official Mamma Mia soundtrack whilst you're doing it as well. We know that Ibrahimovic is Swedish. We know he's a big player in Italy, featured at AC Inter, big player there. There's definitely a collaborative Swedish-Italy coming together there. And we've got all-encompassing worldwide where Zidane gets his revenge, all to the sounds of Dancing Queen.
What's the matter, Zizou? Hey, what do you think you do? It's not the best. A headbutt to the chest. I'll get off of the pitch. I'm gonna kick your flipping bum off.
Meatballs. IKEA serve meatballs. Italians love meatballs on their pasta. That is another thing that Sweden and Italy share. Yeah. Everyone could have a bowl of meatballs while they're driving around. Say the mum or the dad, they don't want to shoot the gun. They can have a lovely old bowl of meatballs. And you could have a giant chef, not a giant chef, just a normal chef. He's a human being chef, and he's making these meatballs. He's an artisan chef, and he's carving these meatballs into the face and head of Zidane. But all the time he's saying, that's a lot of meatballs, because he's keeping having to cook these meatballs. And then he gives each family a bowl of meatballs that they load into this cannon, and they fire it like Pavarotti's chest. I love it.
That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see big figures in Italian history. Pavarotti is fantastic. I want to see Raphael painting to the Sistine Chapel ceiling. I want to see you blasting him with Zidane. I want to get you. Once you get to the end and you get a top score of the day, then we can have like a stand, and you can trade in your top score for like a plush or something, or like a big World Cup, or you give like a World Cup like plush to someone to say, this was robbed from Zinedine Zidane's hands, and now you get to have it. He's got his revenge. I think it's perfect. And the idea that Mamma Mia's playing as well, Mamma Mia, here we go again, blasting at Versace, giving it a bit to like Dolce and Gabbana. You can really give it some welling.
Like the end of the movie Star Wars Part 4, A New Hope, where there's a weak point in the Death Star, and if you hit that dead on, the whole thing explodes. Maybe right at the end of the ride, you get a chance to fire a Zidane meatball head at the Roman Colosseum, and if you get it in the right arch, the whole thing explodes. But there's only one. You have to be pinpoint accuracy to destroy that. That
is genius. Can you be Skywalker for the day? Can you let that one Zidane shaped ball hit the Colosseum in the sweet spot? Oh, mate, it's perfect.
That's a spicy meatball.
The thrust of Zidane's head into Materazzi's chest was similar to that of when a pensioner drives a car into a house. When you see on the news, a pensioner has driven a car into a house.
Like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, the headbutt, what I'm saying is the headbutt wasn't very powerful. Are we going to recreate the power of the headbutt, or are we going to add some oomph to it?
We could definitely add a little bit of oomph. I mean, obviously we're trying to hit targets here and trying to make an impact on them. So I think there needs to be a little bit of thrust in the cannons that I mentioned to kind of really make a mark. I think what could be nice as well, actually, I think will make more of a mark and would hit harder home, is if we had some kind of holographic ending of Zidane's mother, and she could then tell people, look, don't insult mothers.
Oh, that'd be such a nice touch at the end.
Like basically kind of a nice touch at the end, it's kind of like a message to take away with you, and it really hits home to say, look, at the end of the day, my son's protecting me, like just take care of your mum. And that's from Zidane's mum. Like we could, I know, be her still with us or not, we could kind of get some kind of like holographic They did it with Kim Kardashian or Kanye
That's
West
right,
on the stage
with the
recently.
dad.
I'm sure we can get Zidane's mum. Yeah.
Is Zidane's mum still alive?
We can do some research. If she is, I would love her as a consultant on the ride.
Yeah, I think she has to be involved in this on some level. I mean, maybe if she's up for it, the high score winner at the end of any day gets to...
Take her out for coffee.
Well, yeah, I was going to say put on a nappy and she breastfeeds them to their heart's content, but maybe a coffee is a simpler idea.
Let's split the difference. She can lactate into a small coffee cup and they can have like a latte.
It would be great actually for press, actually. I'm just thinking about it. It'd be really kind of like very Inception-like if we actually invited Zidane to open the ride and then have a picture of him in the press of him getting a latte from his mother's teat. And it's a bit like, you know, kind of going back to the origins where it all began.
And that's how Rome was formed. You know, Romulus and Remus, they both sucked at the teat of Zidane's mum, and that's how Rome was formed.
Was Romulus the Star Trek?
When they were on the Starship Enterprise, they both shared the nip, and they formed the capital of Italy.
Oh, what's that? No, oh, that's nice. Romulus, get some of that down, it's nice.
One element I'm thinking about. So Zidane taking revenge on the whole of Italy is very strong and much needed. Does he need a nemesis in there? Does he need someone in the ride that is trying to prevent the destruction of Italy? And I'm thinking, to bring in more nations, it's Gareth Bale. Clearly, Zidane hates Gareth Bale. Maybe if you accidentally headbutt Gareth Bale goes massive and becomes a Welsh dragon and rains fire down on you. That's it. You'll go on the ride is over.
That's a really good point, because otherwise this could be construed as too easy.
Yeah, it's got to have an element of slight risk. You can't just run amok destroying Italy to your heart's content. You've got to be a bit careful when it comes to this level of destruction.
I can definitely see a way that morphing with his current man bun hairstyle, morphing that into like kind of like a dragon's kind of scaly fin would be a really easy fix for the robotics team.
Lovely stuff. Okay, let us vote. We are going to vote on Zinedine Zidane's Mamma Mia Mayhem. All in favour say aye. 3, 2, 1, aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Adam. That's unanimous.
It's in.
Oh, that's fantastic. I feel really happy about this, guys. That's fantastic news.
Congratulations. Family, violence, and booby coffee.
Mark, I'm very pleased to see Zinedine Zidane represented at Footballland.
Yes, considering he's such a fantastic talent, he's been underrepresented so far. So Mamma Mia Mayhem, it's good to see him in the park.
Now we're coming to the close of our meeting. Have we got any other business, anything to action?
We need to staff International Break Hotel, I'd say. We need to get on that.
Ryan, could you find out where Ray Lewington is? Where would Ray Lewington be now? He left England in 2016 when Roy Hodgson was manager.
Yeah, he'll be with Roy. He's always with Roy.
I think Roy keeps him in his understairs cupboard, doesn't he? Gets him out with the Hoover.
So we need to lure Roy Hodgson to Footballland so that Ray Lewington comes as well, and then get Roy Hodgson out of there, shut the doors so that Ray Lewington's just running around like a trapped animal.
Yeah.
Do they do Roy Hodgson-shaped breadcrumbs? Because I'm thinking a trail of Roy Hodgson breadcrumbs leading into the hotel. Ray Lewington's bound to come sniffing up that lot.
He's going to go for that.
Okay. Good luck with that. All right, well, thank you very much. Lovely meeting, and see you again next week.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.